whilst this week's ISC was only an update on what's going on with visors and looting and shopping, it had more than a few reveals that were quite insightful. Things like visors that are going to be customised to whatever purpose we have, and how the new loot system is going to enable us to switch out armour, and a few other things besides. Let's take a look.
Zalpha 323 continues its journey towards what's shaping up to be one of the biggest and most impactful patches of Star Citizen yet. We continue discussing the various aspects and features contained within. And this week, we're going back to Team Kian with a quick look at the updated lens and visor, loot screens, and new shopping interface.
Shopping interface. Okay. They are getting their money's worth out of that RSI Explorer armor. It's in everything. Oh, okay. Straight into the new visor. Yeah, I mean, I'll get there, right? And we'll raise some questions, and I'm sure they'll get round to answering some or all of it. The first thing that stands out to me is top left star map. Thank God it's in. Yeah, it's not too big. I like that it's transparent. I like that, you know, the edges are blurred, so it's not like a mini map where it just takes up a chunk of the screen and you can't use that for anything else. Microtech's very blue anyway. It has like a very blue palette, as you would expect with an ice world, somewhere that's very cold. So I don't know whether it's the color palette against the star map or whether it's the star map looking very kind of wire diagram-y, if that's even a thing. But it feels a little bit faded against the background there, but I'm sure that is just color palette, and maybe you got the option to change that. Very quick observations. Love that we've got the compass at the top. Love that, I don't know what they are. On either side, in the middle of the screen, there's a green 0. I'm assuming that's elevation and depression, right? But I don't know. We'll get to see that. The bit that's kind of standing out for me at the minute is the bit in the bottom left. So it seems to, that's the Microtech logo. So it seems to say that where we are, maybe, whose territory we're in, and then maybe the shield is like your reputation with that faction. So maybe we're like a level 4 with Microtech security services. So that's how we see it, because it's got like the 4 stars in the shield. I don't know. I guess we'll find out, right?
What's the difference between the lens and the visor?
Why does Jared sound weird?
Oh, wearing the helmets or not?
The visor is essentially.
Was he in the toilet when he said that?
Onto the helmet, so it's shown on the visor in front of your face. When you take the helmet off, you're wearing a contact lens in lore, and that shows your HUD as well.
That's cool.
Of course, in a video game, you're gonna need all that HUD information.
You get information.
Best mustache ever!
Your weapons, what you're holding.
Nice. Whoa. No. Not so quick. Not so quick, Star Citizen.
What you're holding.
Okay. I don't want to be too negative, right? Because by and large, this looks much better. It looks much more in line with the AAA. And I like 98% of what they're doing here. Here's the 1%. You know, the 1% was Star Map maybe not standing out as much as it was from the last stop. This one, I don't know if you've noticed, on your screen, there's a missile launcher. I know that because it's taking up 1/3 of the available space. It's a heavy weapon, and it's huge. And it should be, because it's a missile launcher. So why, right, over here, up there, do I have a wire diagram of exactly the same thing? I don't need the wire diagram. I've got the missile launcher. Like, it's weird. I'm not sure that makes sense to me. But yes. Okay, cool. Let's carry on. Other than that, very positive.
Notifications.
Nice.
Your missions. Your comms. Your chat even. Everything like that is part of the visor and lens.
But we
Oyster, pause.
And just, it's magically there, right? You get the lens, it's right there. You have all the information projected on your eye immediately. And the second you put a helmet on, you will get the visor experience. It's making the UI diegetic.
He's so enthusiastic about it. That's cool.
It isn't so much new information, but it's a new dynamic system for showing and hiding widgets based on your current situation.
So all the basic information that you would see, like you need to know your health status. So you have all of these widgets telling you, okay, you're dying from this thing, you have no oxygen.
We've all been there. Don't pretend like you haven't. We've all hit the like button if you've been there. Don't argue with me. Just do it. Just do it.
It's warning you of all the different
I'm sure they'll explain that in a minute. If not, we'll come back to it. But yeah,
hazards that you can meet out there.
We've got regions all over the lens, and we can specify which widgets we show in them. For example, down the bottom right, we've got the weapons. We've got the control hints. And we've got low priority notifications, which can take up a lot of real estate. If something else shows on screen that would overlap one of those, one of the lowest priority ones will dynamically turn off, and it'll all fit nicely onto screen again.
That's perfect, right? Because like the amount of times you'd like finish a mission or you do something and you just had notification after notification top dead center of your screen just slapped up there, and in there somewhere someone would share a mission or someone would invite you or try and contact you, and it was lost amongst all that. So hopefully that stuff still comes up somewhere prominent, but that low level stuff, like you've left and you've been awarded this, you've left the ship, you've done this, you've done that, will sit in the corner and allow us to differentiate. I like that. That's cool.
Previously, all notifications were shown in the center of the screen, which could get a bit busy. We've now introduced the
I've just said that, Kian.
Notifications, which anything that's not super important to you will show in a box down in the bottom right of the screen instead of being loud and in your face.
Nice.
The UI for the missions and objectives, again, that's all been updated.
The notification should animate over to the right-hand side of the screen where we've got our new objective UI. This presents essentially all the same information as the old objective UI, but in a much nicer package. We've also reworked the weapon UI, so you see a more detailed description of the weapon that you have, and this new visor and lens has been adapted to incorporate the new minimap. Another aspect of our dynamic widget system is that we can turn off specific widgets depending on what you're looking at. So if you've got your Mobiglass open, it can hide a lot of the widgets, maybe except for the
So obviously this is not part of the visor so much. This is the new Mobiglass. But I like this. So what have we got? Top left, contracts. So what's going on at the minute? This is what this is your tracked contract. So who's giving it to you, what the title is, how much money you're getting out of it. Then you've got notifications. Great. So you don't miss them like we used to. Like if it's gone, it's gone. Maybe shared missions will stay there now, so you don't have to catch them the minute they turn up. That seems to work. Reputation and crime stat, bottom left, nice. Center bit, vehicles. It says ship data null, so I assume that's, you just go and got to call a ship out or have an active vessel, and that will be that. Environment. So we got gravity. Safe, I guess that's because it says lungs, or it has a picture of lungs. That's the oxygen quality. Air pressure or pressure that you're under. External temperature, and then your radiation. So that's cool. And then your medical information up on the far right. Home, health, comms, contracts, maps, journal, knickknacks, rep, money trader, landing, and vehicles. So there's no apps down there at the moment that are of any big shock. They're all stuff that we're normal. Apart from the health, I guess we don't have a health one at the minute. But yeah, cool. Nice.
Notifications. If you're looking at a kiosk, maybe we just want to show the control hints on the right-hand side and everything else can be easily hidden.
So with the visor, we can now customize the content that you see depending on the helmets you're wearing.
And what this new dynamic region gives us beyond 323 will be allowing artists to style things based on different visors and different missions and different purposes.
The code for the different styles of manufacturing.
Okay, so that's interesting. So visors will vary based on style, but also on the purpose of that helmet. Nice. Mining helmet, pilot helmet. All of a sudden, gear choices are more than just aesthetics, right? That's quite a nice little concept. And maybe that's because they talked about you were never going to have armor and seats, and then recently at CitizenCon they've talked about armor and seat being a drawback, not something that you can't have anymore. So maybe that's the choice for pilots, is you'll have some very pilot-looking gear, but the helmet and everything else will bring advantages over bringing a combat one. So again, you've got a genuine choice to make. That's cool.
Manufacturers, etc., is in now.
You can see the potential of having different visors for different helmets.
Nice.
For these different roles.
Literally what I just said, right? Nice, no explosions. It's still balked.
Onto the job, really.
In 323, the only specialized visor is going to be the combat visor that comes with the dynamic crosshair. But you can expect us to continue iterating on these visors in future patches.
Nice.
So the loot screen builds on a lot of work that we've done in the personal inventory over the past few years.
It's a new UI giving the player the possibility to just pick up stuff on the go.
The existing personal inventory can be a bit cumbersome when trying to pick up ammo in a firefighter and things like that. So the new loot screen.
That getting shot when you're frantically trying to grab something off a body. If you didn't hit like for the leaving your helmet off when you went out into space, that has to have happened to you, right? Like, you know you want to.
Aims to address those issues.
Now when the player goes over to a body or a box, it can quickly press F and this will bring up the new loot screen. This menu is a simplified version of the player's loadout and the entity they're looting. You'll see the looted entity items on the top and the players on the bottom.
You can easily swap between both and equip things from what you're looting by just clicking and dragging.
This screen is a more simplified version of the inventory, is to make the experience for the player to be quicker.
We also
That's
now
really
have a
nice
section for armor, which wasn't a consideration for Squadron 42. You'll just click a button and it'll take you to a new page.
I did wonder.
You can swap your armor with who you're looting and see everything that they had equipped.
Nice.
We
That's
also
really
have
nice.
some
That's
contextual
needed,
options
right?
in the loot screen. If you are looking for ammo for a specific weapon, you can hover over that weapon and it will show you any magazines or attachments that will fit that weapon. You can then quickly loot those or attach the weapon attachments using that menu.
So when the player hovers a specific item, this will appear a tooltip that will tell you the available actions, and that will include, for example, a single click to equip, a shift left click to store it.
We've also added a button to the loot screen to swap between that and the existing personal inventory view.
The inventory will stay, it's not going anywhere, and is more for your management.
Ooh, combine on ammo. So you've got the restoring mags, right, which is nice, like that. Yeah, and the fact that they're just adding stuff, so at the moment they can figure out whether the new stuff is what people use. I guess they can monitor, how people are using stuff. So if everyone switches over to the new loot system, maybe they really look at adjusting the old one, or even getting rid of it. And then if no one uses the new system, they can figure out that there's a problem with it and make it more user-friendly. Nice. So you're not forced to use the new system or stick with the old. I like that. That's cool.
So what you're seeing here is still, the visuals are still for Squadron. We are planning to do a PU version, and that will come for this release.
Medevac Rescue Light. Did anyone else see that?
And our team's last big addition to 323
Go back and have a
is an
look.
updated shopping experience. So today when you're looking to buy an item, you look at that item and you see a flat piece of UI on the left-hand side of the screen. You then
Does anyone buy stuff like that?
And if
does anyone buy armor like that, or do they just go to the shop and like bulk buy stuff? I'm curious, like genuinely curious. Let me know.
the price is high enough, it will take you to a confirmation screen in the mobi-glass that shows you more information where you can confirm if you want to proceed with the transaction. With the new mobi-glass being introduced, we took this as an opportunity to remove the old confirmation screen and update some of the UI around the shopping experience.
we really wanted to sell the idea of the AR lens actually putting things out in the world.
You will see the overlay around the item with basic.
Interesting. Okay, I've paused it just too late, but yeah, looks good.
You will see the price of the item and your balance.
We're no longer going to...
Does it look good? Okay. All right. I'll think about that.
Interacting with the item to purchase it. We'll now have hotkeys that will be displayed on the card. You need to press these hotkeys for a certain amount of time in order to complete the transaction.
The process will happen in the background, and then you will get a notification if it was successful.
So you can see now, in world, you have this interface with the information you need to see, okay, do I want to buy this thing? You just interact with it, buy the thing, and you're done.
The default key for buying will be B for buying. But if you don't like it, you can go to settings and then change the key binding, like any other binding in our game.
The same will be true for renting if it is a vehicle or something that can be rented. We also have the concept of quick buy currently, which just allows you to grab the item immediately.
So the main reason that we made this change is because with the new visors, we have redesigned some of the apps that you have, like shown on the visor and shown on the Mobi glass.
We had the choice to either port the existing confirmation screen over directly as it is with all of its information, or update the experience to something more fitting with our game now.
Obviously, we still have the shopping terminals, so if you want to buy things in bulk, that's probably where you go. But when you're just picking that one thing up quickly, like that.
So enthusiastic.
So for anyone playing Star Citizen, 323 is going to be
it looks very good.
A new visor and HUD experience that's just going to look way better than before. It's going to feel more diegetic.
It's been about polishing and improving and iterating on what we've already got in the universe.
It's going to have the new looting system, which is going to make the flow so much quicker for you, as well as the new shopping system, looking nicer, being faster.
We're hoping to provide a better experience to all the players so they have a more enjoyable experience with the game. And I'm really proud of the work that everyone on this team has been doing.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the updated visor system will unlock artists to explore different interface stylings and designers to create more function-driven apps for the different manufacturers and purposes of helmets. That the new Squadron 42 looting screens being adapted to the multitude of uses exclusive to the persistent universe. And how the new shopping interface aims to make finding and buying that item or vehicle in-game easier and more intuitive than ever before. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
All right, come on then, Jared. What have you got for us? What's the silly? What is the silly?
Look at this stupid meme. Every time I do it makes it seem like my hiring was so bad, and all I did was make Chris Roberts mad. And this is why I screwed up. This next line just rhymes up with up.
Yeah. An interesting one, because it's lots of quality of life improvements and stuff. It's looking a lot more now like a proper AAA game, right? Which is what we've been asking for a while. The star map is going to be a massive improvement, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, there's bits where it's not going to all be integrated at once. But I did wonder how they were going to integrate armor into looting. We've just seen that happen. So, yeah. Really pleased. I think the fact that they're showing it a couple times shows that they feel like they've got enough progress to be able to show it a couple times and show it in more detail, which to me is kind of a bit of a reinforcement that this stuff at least is on track for 323. Really pleased that we're getting some of these quality of life improvements. If I die one more time being shot whilst looting someone, I think I might have a bit of a meltdown. Anyway, you've been watching Drinkers with Gaming Problems. Thank you very much for stopping by. See you soon.